The New World expansion is coming in 2 weeks time. So in this video, I quickly want to go over 18 things that I'm doing right now to prepare for the expansion. With the New World expansion, our trade skills are going up, and with this also comes a new music buff. This music buff will allow us to level our gathering skills a little bit faster. So definitely it's worth it to level up your music buffs right now. For example, my music is already 200. You can see it's maxed out. The first thing that I'm going to do when harvesting, I'm going to level my music to 205 so that I can play the harvesting increase buff. Well, basically the XP increase buff so that I can level up my harvesting just a little bit faster so that I can max it out. Another thing that's really important is your PvP XP. Now, there's a lot of things that you can do with PvP, but one thing that you're going to have to do is level your PvP track just a little bit to level 100. I know this for some, this is like a big thing and it's going to take a long time, but why would you want to do this? Well, if we head over to nwdb.info, you'll see that some artifacts like the unyielding heavy headpiece is locked behind PvP, but the requirement is a level 100 PvP level. So make sure you start working on this, cap some forts with your buddies, or maybe play some OPR or arena. A little bit a day can do a lot. Even run your daily PvP missions. This can slowly but surely boost your PvP level. If you're not play PvP a lot, then you're probably a bit out of luck here since 100 levels is quite steep. Hopefully they nerf this, but at the moment, make sure you start working on your PvP level. This is going to take quite a grind. If you're not into PvP a lot, then trophies is probably your next best bet since you're going to need a lot of trophies. There's a lot of good named items that you can farm with 2 perkers, and then if you upgrade it, it can be based in slot. So I think a luck trophy, so you don't have to farm as long, is pretty decent. I already bought my luck trophies just like 2 weeks ago, so just before the big hype, I bought some luck trophies. So definitely look into this, as well as maybe your beast bane trophies. Well, the beast trophies that does a little bit extra damage to beast, as well as angry earth. I also picked up a couple of human trophies as well since I didn't have them, since I want to run the forts over and over again for my blunderbuss build. Next, if you like rune glass in your gear, then you probably want to farm a bit of ancient globes of ectoplasm. This will be used for your rune glass on your gear so that you can upgrade it. I'm definitely farming a couple. I already farmed yesterday 27 on stream, so definitely go look for these as well so that you can start crafting your rune glass. I'm sure this will go up in price since everybody is going to need new rune glass, not only for their weapons but also for their armor. Another thing that I'm doing is maxing out my faction tokens. Since you're going to need a lot of faction tokens, you can see I'm starting to max it out. I'm already max rep, so if you haven't done any story for your faction yet and haven't leveled this up, then it's probably a good idea to do this since we're getting a new tier, and the new tier has some important weekly things that you can buy. So definitely do this. While we're here, also make sure that you pick up your daily gypsum from your faction vendor. It's super important since these things are going to be quite valuable to increase your armor. Basically, you'll be able to use these gypsum orbs to exchange the last perk on your named weapons and artifacts, so definitely get these as well. Also, don't get scammed. A lot of people recommend you buy these things, but they're actually not as valuable. You can see they're 300 gold, and all that you get from them when you open it is like XP boost. For example, you get these unusual pollen things, which is quite basic. You can just farm any like max tier node and you'll get some of these. So are they worth 300 gold in my books? Definitely not. So don't get scammed. Don't buy those boxes. You'll just get some of these in the box, and you can only craft 3 a day of them in the expansion. So definitely don't pick these up since those boxes are pretty bad. Just go farm and you'll have plenty of these unusual pollen. It's the same as go for ore and other things. So definitely don't get scammed by those boxes. While we are on the topic of orbs and gypsum, make sure you don't craft your gypsum into orbs. So for example, I've got my emerald gypsum here. Make sure you don't craft them into orbs, since in the season 3 season track on the cards you will have to craft like orbs. So make sure you keep all of your gypsum, don't craft them into like already gypsum orbs, just keep them like they are right now, since you will need them to level up some of the bingo cards. So just keep them, make sure you have some of these ready. I'm just keeping mine, I'm not going out of my way to farm them, but if I get them, I'm just keeping them, and I'm ready for my expansion to level up my season 3 track with these as well. I'm also gathering a lot of resources to increase my refining. At the moment my refining is maxed, you can see here, but I basically put in a whole bunch of buy orders. Let me go to my storage here. I put in a whole bunch of buy orders just to level my refining. I've basically got 10,000 of everything. I just need lodestone, I believe. Then I'm pretty good to go. I'll probably need a little bit more wood for charcoal, but I'll eventually just go farm that. But make sure you put in a whole bunch of buy orders for refining. Sure, I'll show you in a later tip how to earn gold when the expansion launches, but quickly put in a bunch of buy orders and make sure you gather this, or you just put in some buy orders. I just put in buy orders. I'm a bit lazy. I had some money laying around. I still have a little bit. I'll definitely try to reach gold cap eventually, but make sure you've got resources on hand. Why would you want resources on hand? Well, the new prismatic ingots, and well as the runic leather and things like that. You want to be able to craft this day one, just so you don't miss out on any cooldowns. Since this does have quite a bit of a cooldown, you can see it uses osmodium, muffle ingots, and like some charcoal here and there. But this is going to be super important, and it's going to be a big money maker in the market day one as well. Another thing coming with the expansion that you probably want to be aware of is these armor matrix. You can either craft these yourself or you're going to have to buy it, but you can see you're going to require an armoring skill of 250. But not only that, you're also going to require another skill like jewel crafting at about 250, I believe, as well as engineering at 250. And for the weapon matrix, there's another one. You also need like a weapon at 250. For example, I believe engineering and arcana, you also need to be 250. You can either choose weaponsmithing or engineering to be at 250, but somewhere there you need to be at 250. So don't forget to level your trade skills as well for these weapon matrix. They're going to be a super important thing to get in the next expansion. So gather some resources for this as well. It's going to be quite tedious. There's so many resources that you need to gather, and probably won't have everything, but just so that you know, I'm including this as well. I'm also preparing to farm a lot of dark matter. Dark matter is pretty important to craft those armor matrix and weapon matrix. So definitely going to need a couple of these. A lot of people are keeping their gear since they're going to upgrade them to 600 and salvage them. You can do what you want with them. A lot of people also say that you can only use non-dungeon drops to upgrade and will get dark matter, but you can get these dark matters from a couple of different places. At the moment, there's a couple of ways you can prepare for this. For example, upgrading your gear, but there's also a whole bunch of chests that can drop them that you can farm at the moment. For example, I believe the event that's going on, the Seeds of Silver event, you can see here's the boxes. You can farm these plus the hatchery boxes. They will include some dark matter. So definitely make sure you get your 14 hatchery boxes. I believe it's 14, as well as your free daily silver spoils. Just do this daily for like 2 weeks. You'll have plenty of dark matter. I'm pretty sure you will be pretty stocked up on dark matter as well. If you already got your dark matter, then there's a couple of things you can do. If you're a chest run enjoyer, maybe you just like the mindlessness of it and constantly looting, then you're probably in luck. Since if you loot a lot of gear, sure you get to salvage that gear, but with all of the salvage, you also get these infused armor scraps and a couple of things. I'm running my chase runs daily now just to get these plus you get some extra golden resources. So definitely start doing some chase runs. You'll see I got quite a bit of scraps, especially armor, since they drop so frequently. So I've got like 150. It's not like crazy, it's not gonna completely level me, but this will definitely help with leveling here and there. So if you enjoy doing chase runs for 2 weeks, then you can probably do this, but it's quite tedious if you don't enjoy just mindlessly running chase. But I don't care about it. I do enjoy getting my little token, my transmog token. I've got like 2 here, but you can definitely gather your transmog token while doing this, as well as make a little bit of gold on the side with getting gems and other few things. So definitely worth doing chase runs if you want to get ahead for the expansion. I would also recommend that you get a couple of flame cores, not only to upgrade your heart rune, since heart rune is getting a new tier. So if you got a couple of heart runes and you want to upgrade here and there, then you can use some flame cores. But you can also craft boxes here at the forge. Maybe these boxes will be viable. This is more a speculation. You can only craft about 6 a week, I believe, of these boxes. So maybe they will still hold some value. This is super speculative, but at worst you can just sell your cores. But I'm just keeping all of mine at the moment. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna farm a bunch of these while running the dungeon, but make sure you just keep them, or you can sell them for a profit, who knows. But I'm just keeping mine so that I can craft them. Maybe I get some dark matter in these boxes eventually, or just some really good gear pieces, hopefully, but I'm keeping mine for now. If you're a dungeon enjoyer, then you can make about 15,000 a week at the moment, since you get about 6,000 shards per run. If you do all 25 this week, then you probably can make about 15,000 gold if you salvage your shards when the expansion comes out. So definitely worth doing. Like, it's like it basically pays you now to just run dungeons. Sure, you get the regular gold on top of the dungeons by killing the bosses, but if you do this dungeon, you get your shards, and in the expansion you will get about 1,000 gold for every 10,000 shards. So if you salvage them and you do all 25 runs, then you're pretty good off. You're gonna get about 30,000 if you do it for 2 weeks. So definitely worth doing if you're in a pinch for some gold. Just gather some shards and you should make a pretty good amount of money just from running dungeons alone, but also getting the shards. If you don't like leveling or running dungeons, then you can always just make a bunch of gold. Since the market is quite crazy right now, everybody is looking for resources. You can just fulfill a bunch of buy orders, hit gold cap, and you should be good for the expansion. Instead of just crafting and leveling your professions, you can just basically buy the armor matrix and the weapon matrix, upgrade your name gear, and you should be good to go. On stream, I'm busy trying to reach max gold cap. Slowly but surely, 2 weeks should be more than enough. But if you want to, you can watch me on Twitch, or you can watch this video right here, where I go over all of my named blunderbuss jobs that I'm going to be farming for the expansion, so that I can have a pretty good build day 1.